Today we're going to be learning about exponential growth and decay word problems. I will go over several examples from IXL lesson X.5. How much of a radioactive kind of nitrogen will be left after 40 minutes if the half-life is 10 minutes and you start with 480 grams? We're going to begin this problem with the exponential equation. Next, we look for the starting value, which happens to be 480 grams. Next, we're going to look for a growth factor or a decay factor. In one of our previous videos, we learned that the word half-life represents a decay factor, and we're going to replace B with just the number 1/2. Finally, we're going to indicate our time period. And since we have two times in this problem, 40 and 10 minutes, 40 minutes and 10 minutes, you're going to need to take 40 minutes and divide it by 10, which gives you 4. You're going to replace your X value with 4. Now all you have to do is enter the expression that's on the right side of the equation into decimals, and I've already done that. And you will find out that your answer is on the lower right-hand side of your dialog box on decimals, and that happens to be 30. 30 grams is your answer. Next example. If the number of bacteria in a colony doubles every 42 hours, and there is currently a population of 5,000 bacteria, what will the population be 84 hours from now? We're going to begin this word problem with the exponential equation. Y equals A times B to the X power. We look for the starting value, which happens to be 5,000 bacteria. Then we're looking to find out what the growth or decay factor. One of our key words that we've learned in a previous video, doubles. Doubles indicates that the B value is going to be 2. Next, we're looking for the time periods, and we have two numbers that represent time, 42 hours, 84 hours. The 42 hours is the time in which the bacteria will double, but we want to know how much bacteria will be there after a total of 84 hours. So you have to divide these numbers, and you get a value of 2. Your exponent now becomes 2. You can enter the right side of the equation into decimals, and you should get the following answer. 20,000 bacteria is going to be your answer. Next example. Michael has $60 in his savings account. The interest rate is 10% compounded annually. To the nearest cent, how much interest will he earn in 3 years? In this particular problem, I would use the compound interest formula because we see the keyword compounded annually. The compound interest formula is A equals P times 1 plus R divided by N raised to the N times T power. You're going to plug in your initial or starting value, which happens to be $60. Then you're going to plug in your percentage, but you need to make sure you change that to a decimal. 10% written as a decimal is 0.10. Now we're looking at the word behind compounded, which is annually. That lets us know what number that we need to plug in or replace N with. Annual means one time per year. Therefore, we're going to replace N with 1 in this part of the formula, and we're going to also replace 1 in this part of the formula for N. Finally, the time that has elapsed will be 3 years. You plug in 3 there, and now you can enter all this information into decimals. I've already done that for you, but you need to be very careful. When entering the exponent, you need parentheses around the exponent in order for the calculation to come out correctly. So the total amount after 3 years is $79.86. You need to be very careful because the problem asks how much interest will he earn in 3 years. We don't want to know the total amount in the account. We just want to know the interest. Therefore, we take the total amount, which is $79.86, and subtract the starting value, which was $60. $79.86 minus $60 is $19.86, which is our final answer. In this problem, it is very important to read and pay close attention to whether they're asking for how much money will be in the account or how much interest will be in the account. Next problem. Typewriters are going out of fashion in the modern era. If 370,000 typewriters were sold this year and sales decline at a rate of 20% per year, how many will be sold 11 years from now? We start with the exponential equation and the starting amount, which is 370,000. We look in the word problem and we notice some keywords, decline and 20%. So we're going to use 1 minus for my decay factor. And since the rate is 20%, we must remember to change that 20% to a decimal, 0.20. And then finally, we plug in our time. The time that has elapsed is 11 years. We enter the expression into decimals, and this is what you will get for your answer. Be very careful to recognize that the question asks, round your answer to the nearest whole number. The whole number is the number immediately in front of the decimal. Therefore, I look at the number behind the decimal, which is 7, and this lets me know that the 2 needs to round up to a 3. The final answer comes out to be 31,783. Typewriters is the answer. In these examples, I would like for you to work them out first, pause the video, and check to see if your answers are correct. Next example, you can read through the problem, pause the video, and then check to see if your answer is correct. This is the end of the video presentation.